and we are live. So thank you for joining us. I'm going to do just a really quick audio level check before I get too far along. I can hear myself on stream. Nothing better than that. So thank you for joining us on this streamed episode of Cureseborne, Deliciously Dark. Before we get started, I want to get through just a couple of things. One is, if you're watching us either in the live version or the video on demand version, just understand that this is a mature show, and so there'll be mature language used, there'll be mature themes, and then over and above that, I also want to let you know, for anyone who might be, we'll just say, a little bit reactive to things with 8 legs, you are going to want to be very careful during this show, because those entities and or insects may be present. That being said, super happy that you would join us. And so what I want to do at the top of the show is get our introductions going. And so I will turn to our first Accursed member and have them introduce themselves.
Hi, this is Morgan, and I'm playing Celine Morwin, and our pronouns are she, her. I'm with the Old Ways podcast and Celine is an outcast.
Indeed she is. Look forward to seeing more of Celine very soon. Okay, and to Celine's right.
Hi, I'm Pesto Mystic, and tonight I am playing Evie, and she is hungry.
Indeed she is. We will, I'm sure, get to what she's hungry for in a little bit, but we will wrap our introductions up with someone who's new to either the stream or the show, and so go ahead and let us know who you are.
Hello everyone, my name is Gil Ramos, aka Ramos the Nomad. I am the CEO and founder of Rolling Nomads. Normally you can find me over there, but tonight you can find me right here. I am playing Abel Roscado. My pronouns are he, him, his pronouns are he, him, and we're debuting the Primal. Debuting?
Sure.
Portraying.
Debuting, portraying, same thing here. So I think the best way to start this story off is to offer you all really the opportunity to see our Accursed when they're at their best, which is when things are gone wrong. So earlier tonight there was, we'll just say, an incident in the downtown Chicago area. That incident had an awful lot of, well, difficulties that it left our Accursed with. But more on that later. I'll let them speak in their own voice. For the moment, I want you all to join us on a dark and quickly changing landscape. We are headed north in a car which, previous to this, was not under the ownership of any of the 3 individuals you see on screen. And we're headed somewhere. We're fleeing something. I wonder, Pesto, you're playing, we'll just say a member of the Accursed, we'll call her Evie, as you've called her. Why are you fleeing Chicago?
I am fleeing Chicago because I don't want to be, I don't want my business to get muddied up with the event that had occurred in Chicago.
It's interesting. Muddied up is a term I'm certain that you use quite often. You're prominent in your field, and you can't have, any of that sticking to you necessarily. I would like to clarify, just so that our audience is clear, this car that you're in is moving at a very high rate of speed. And I suppose, Ramos, for Abel, your character, that means at least 2 of your hands are getting awfully sweaty. How did you feel about what happened tonight?
I think it was a mess. I think that whole situation was very quick. We did what we could to gather what resources we could and to get out as soon as possible. But I think there was a lot of hindsight is 2020, and unfortunately, there's no changing the past. But we got out with what we could. But the important thing is we leave now and assess what we do have at our disposal.
Well, speaking of what you have at your disposal, I suppose that leaves us with our final accursed. I won't ask which one of you is in the front seat or back seat. I'll let you all figure that out. But Celine, this was supposed to be a pretty simple social event. What went wrong?
What went wrong? Well, it was supposed to be like you said, a simple social event where I make some contacts with some folks in the pharmacy field and some other folks that were not in the pharmacy field interrupted the event and tried to drag me out of the room.
Drag you out of the room?
Why would... I'm beloved. I don't know why people would ever want to kidnap me. And so here we are. Abel and Evie.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Evie? Okay. Sorry. We just met.
Oh, you're fine, darling. No, it's okay. Just wait till you hear my last name.
That's okay. People know my name. I don't worry about theirs.
Oh,
and,
interesting.
escaped in this very fine... Some version, it's probably a Toyota Camry or something. And they're headed north.
Oh, no, I don't think a Toyota Camry is flashy enough. In fact, I think that you're likely in, we'll say, a 3 Series BMW. Chewing through fuel on your way north out of town. Sort of northwest. You're on a few country roads right now. And as Abel grips the steering wheel to muscle the car around another bend, all you can think about, Abel, was the fire that broke out. What vantage point do you think Abel had of the fire?
I think that Abel probably didn't have like a high vantage point or anything like that. Just probably on the ground in the shit, which is likely how he lost one of his knives.
That's terrible. You make those knives, don't you, by hand?
By hand, and they all have a maker's mark. So that is one of the more concerning details that is on his mind.
Absolutely. Okay. So, given the country roads that you're on and the darkness that seems to have enveloped this space, you're far beyond the city lights now. I wonder what's going through your mind, Evie.
What's going through my mind would be a place where we can lay low for a moment, a place where I can eat, a place to potentially go through some data that we might have.
Data? My, where would you have gotten some data?
Oh, from a lovely gentleman at the convention that just liked my smile.
Well, there are an awful lot of gentlemen there that liked your smile, I'm sure. So, in that ensuing chaos, while the floor was filled with bullets and blood and all manner of other things, you managed to pilfer a briefcase which contained some type of laptop. You're not certain how to decode it yet or crack your way into it, but certainly the healthcare industry is rife with data problems. And who knows what's inside of it. I wonder, what's it sound like in the car? What are the three of you talking over? Are you talking at all back and forth?
I think Abel is probably just muttering to himself, speeding and probably out of nervous habit, just like noting down details of the cars that get past, anything that might be behind him. Just calling out small details like blue Chevy on our left side, 20 feet back, just calling out information.
Okay.
I think I'm in the back seat, sprawled out, just ignoring that information because I don't really care. I can get out of anything that comes our way, and I'll help you out too.
Okay. Celine?
I'm in the front seat with earbuds on, listening to music, updating my socials, messaging my nonprofit organization.
Yeah, it becomes fairly clear to you as you're going through that process. Not doom scrolling by any means. That's really not what you do. You're much more focused on the next path, the next gain that you can make. But to do that, you acquire information to do that. And the news reports that are beginning to come out, the hashtags that are appearing about the building that you were at, the fire department, the loss of life. You see a lot of tweets and a lot of messages about the 77s, this rather infamous Chicago family that has worked, well, really since the mid-50s to cut out a piece of the heart of the city for themselves. And you see a few of their own splayed out with bullet holes in them, having gotten into an altercation with Chicago PD. But the sheer amount of average, everyday healthcare workers who are laying in pools of their own blood or being zipped up into body bags is quite something. You're getting emails now from coworkers, from people on LinkedIn who are asking in desperate tones if you're okay, if everything is all right. Your inbox is, well, for 7:30 on a 8:30 maybe on a night like this, it's pretty active.
Yeah, I get an email from my second in command, Kira, and she's a loyal partner of mine in my nonprofit organization. It's called the Crimson Embrace. Feel free to donate anytime.
Fabulous.
I'll owe you a favor. It's letting me know that I might not want to come back to town for a while.
Well, I mean, she usually has your best. Your best future is really what she's after. She's that dedicated of a nonprofit employee. It doesn't take terribly long for the events of what happened in Chicago to sort of begin to wreak havoc on your, well, the body you inhabit. All of you begin to feel the pangs of adrenaline start to wear off. Some of you get hungry. Others of you really just need to use the bathroom. And for, well, the driver, you realize that whoever took this car down to downtown Chicago certainly did so without a full gas tank. And you realize that this quite powerful BMW is just choking down all the gas it can get. And if you want to keep going in the direction you are to safety, you're going to need to pull over at some point.
I know prior to that, Evie's gonna take some wet wipes out of her bag and just kind of pass them around if we need to clean up after ourselves.
Yeah. So you got out unscathed. All of you did. No wounds. That's great. But we'll just say that the battlefield ambiance did stick to you in some occasions. It's not your vintage, Evie, but it is available nonetheless. All right. Abel, why don't you give me... We'll make our first roll of the evening. How about that? So I think this sort of roll is probably a mental-based roll. And the way we roll dice in Cureseborne is we roll a set of d10s. Just a regular roll is used with d10s. The target number is 8 or higher. And I want this to be a mental roll for you because you're not really doing anything what we would call high contact or difficult driving at this point. So what I will ask of you... Get your character sheet up here so I can look at it. I'm going to say that it is a cunning roll for you. And I think based upon what you are doing in this instance, I will pair that with survival. Because really, this is more like you trying to find a port in the storm, so to speak. You're trying to find safety where you can get it.
Understood. None of the fun dice yet, yes?
Yeah, you have not. We have not plucked at the threads, which is something that Cureseborne uses to gather cursed dice, which all of our characters can gather and potentially hold and at some point bleed and use. But for this roll, at this point, no.
That'll be one success.
Okay, so because they're for this roll, the bare minimum is 1. All you need is 1. You get the achievable 1, and it takes you probably about 15 minutes or so of going right and then sometimes going left or going north. But you finally come upon this truck stop. It's a truck stop with an attached restaurant. I mean, there are normal fuel, regular gas pumps. So I see that we have some raiders. Thank you, Onyx Path, for raiding us. We appreciate it. Welcome, welcome, welcome all. So you come upon this gas station. Hours at this point. About an hour or so has gone by. And you arrive, pull off into the gravel, and can either park it or go to one of the pumps, your choice.
I'll probably park it. We'll deal with the pumps later, but I'll park and kind of turn to my companions and say, "Quick pit stop. That's it. We need to keep moving. I don't know who could be following us, or if you have anybody looking specifically at Celine, if you have anybody that's specifically interested in where you're at, but I don't think it's smart to stay here long."
I agree. Bathroom, snacks, gas, out.
That sounds good.
Oh, don't make a mess.
I won't. I'm quite clean.
Actually, oddly enough, she's right. Like, that's something you notice fairly immediately, Abel, when you get out of the car. You have to let Evie out because this 3 Series is a two-door. So when you step out of the car, you pull the seat forward and you let Evie get out of the back, and you realize that there's no blood on her clothes. There's not even blood on the seat that she was sitting on. There is a bit of dampness, but there's a big difference between that and blood.
You gonna teach me that one day, or?
Oh, it's a family secret.
Bob, you need to step on your family's toes. In and out.
Okay. So I want to start here with Celine. You enter this gas station. We've all been to a ton of different gas stations, likely. But I'd like to sort of set the scene a little bit. This is pretty large. This is like a Casey's level gas station. And I say that because around these parts, every small town has a Casey's. But there's an attached portion of this that serves truck drivers. So there's bathrooms, there's extended showers, and then there's a portion of this place that serves this, I guess it's some kind of country fried chicken. You're not sure what that is, but there's like a little attached restaurant. It's not name brand by any means, but there's a counter and that sort of thing. This is the sort of fried chicken that you bet wins awards. It's probably that sort of fried chicken that people come for miles around just to get to during the day when they're working. Now, you're way after hours now, but even still, it's got a little eatery in it. It's got a little place where you can sit on at the bar and eat chicken. Comes in those red baskets with the flimsy paper. Your standard 5 or 6 different soda fountain choices nearby. And this chicken is cheap. I mean, you get a whole basket for $4.99. It doesn't look like price gouging has happened here just yet. There's a man, probably in his mid-50s, 60s, working behind the counter. He seems to be just cleaning up. He's got a white shirt on, apron. It doesn't look like there's anybody else helping him. He's cleaning glasses and getting stuff set up. And as you get closer into this space, maybe 5-10 feet inside the front door, you can smell fried chicken. It pervades this space. It's all over the place. To your right, there's a regular gas station counter. There's a young kid behind it. He's maybe 20, maybe 22 at best. There are a couple people that mill around in here too. You notice some rigs parked outside getting gas. There seems to be maybe 8-10 people here total. What do you think Celine's first move is?
Well, Celine does like some good fried chicken.
Sure.
But she's going to stay on task. And she is going to go use the restroom, fix herself up, make sure there's no blood or anything anywhere. I don't think she mixed it up maybe as much as Evie and Abel, but getting dragged out of the room may have mussed up her dirty blonde hair. She puts it back up into a bun. It's still got some curl into it from the getting ready for the event. She's got a tight black dress on, and it's got a slit up the side, a V that plunges fairly low. She's got pale skin, big blue eyes. And she's probably about 5'7", 5'8", and she doesn't wear heels because it's just never something she learned to walk in. But she's got some really nice black flats on, probably like $300. Her dress itself is a little bit on the higher end. I don't know any names of higher end dresses in real life, so just forgive me. Make something up. yeah, so she'll go use the restroom, fix herself up. She'll go out and grab some comfort food, so maybe like some beef jerky and and a Mountain Dew. Not normally something she would eat or drink at her compound, but she would you know partake in this and head back out, pay and head back out to the car, pay in cash. And
Okay.
head back out to the car.
We'll keep some of that in mind. I'm going to, for the moment, just leave you in the bathroom cleaning up, because I think if I know Celine at all, I know that you're fairly fastidious when you come to being clean. And while you weren't necessarily into the depths of combat, so to speak, you were close enough to get enough on you. It'll take more than a couple minutes to clean up there in the bathroom. And so I'm going to move to Abel really quick. You decided to park and get gas in a minute. Is that the case? Yes?
Yeah, I think, we're, he's gonna linger behind and get gas while everyone else grabs what they need. He's no stranger to hunger, so he'll chill out here while everyone else gets their goodies.
Yeah. It's not that you're unknown to hunger. You just, you have a way of satiating yourself. It's very specific. You will need gas. And so, pulling over to one of the pumps, you notice that there's a couple other cars here that are waiting to fill up completely. You can actually see that the couple of cars in front of you don't have drivers in them. They have their, gas nozzle in the gas tank. The machine there seems to be, you can hear the pumps moving. But you don't see the drivers.
Does it look like that's strange. Does that look like they are the types of people that kind of pump gas and trust the people around them not to just take the hose out of their car and while they go inside and grab food, or does this look a little more ominous?
I mean, what looks ominous? I guess that's the real question, right? So if you feel like Abel would react to something like that, if you feel like he would start to look around and go, boy, where I'm from, there's no way you'd just leave your car pumping gas, then maybe it's something you'd want to investigate.
I would love to, because where Abel's from, his immediate thought is free gas.
Okay. You start looking around. You going to go investigate the pumps themselves or the cars, or are you going to go into the store and see where the drivers are?
Just kind of poke around the cars for the time being. If I don't see anybody around the cars, then yeah, maybe I'll go in. But for the time being, just poking around the vehicles right now.
Okay. Yeah, that seems reasonable. So you go to poke around the cars a little bit. So I am going to have you make we'll say, intellect and enigmas roll.
Won't be that. Is there anything special with 10s as far as the system is concerned?
That's a great question.
Consequently, in the same vein, is there anything special with 1s?
Let's see. Let's see if I can find it. So Cureseborne right now is on Kickstarter, and we've been provided some wonderful tools. We'll see if we can lock down those specifics. 'Cause 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 'c So 10s count as 2. And I do believe 1s draw away 10s first, which would sort of make sense.
Rough. So I ask because I've got 2 successes, a 10, and a 1. So the 1 cancels the 10?
I would think so, yeah.
Understood. Too easy. Yeah, 2 successes at the time being.
Okay. So the cars are a little bit eerie as you get closer to them. The numbers on the pump are just 8s. They're constantly revolving 8s. Over and over.
Yeah. No, fuck this. We're gonna go get my compatriots, and we're getting the fuck out of here.
Okay. So you're going to head towards the gas station?
Yeah.
Okay. I wonder... Thanks for the resubscribe, Ellie. I appreciate that. I wonder, Evie, as you get into this space, where are you headed?
I think it would head towards the area where truckers sleep. Are there trucks parked in that area currently?
Yes.
Perfect. That's exactly where I'm going to head with my cooler.
Okay.
Yeah, and try and find a trucker.
Okay, so you walk, saunter, one of the two, over to this section where there are 3 or 4 different big rigs that sit idling.
Mm-hmm.
There's an array of things, trucks for you to choose from. Where are you going?
Just go right up to the first one, peek inside the window a little bit. Try and open the door.
Reach up and pull on the door. This one's locked.
I guess I'll try the next one. This one's too locked.
Okay, you go over to the next one. Inside, you are able to pull the door open this time. And inside is empty. The truck's idling. You see looks like a bag of sundry items that were purchased from inside at some point. You smell an awful lot of diesel fuel out here. Not surprisingly.
Oh boy. Okay. I'm gonna back away and go back to the car.
Okay. You back away. And as you head back towards the car, I'd like you to make me an awareness roll, so a perception-based roll. Let me see if I'll pull your character sheet up and see what Evie can do for me. So we'll call this intellect. And call it intellect and enigmas.
And you said 10 counts as 2?
10 does count as 2.
Okay, so 2 successes.
Fabulous. Okay, as you're scanning the pathway back, what you notice is there are 2 or 3 guys you can see through the gas station windows. They've got those long rectangular glass windows along the front. And you see that there's a couple of these truck drivers that are sitting at the back playing what look like slot machines.
Are any of them particularly juicy looking?
Juicy. Okay, so Evie, define juicy for a battery.
Someone that doesn't get a lot of exercise, that has a tender meat.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you eyeball one of them. Probably a man in his early 50s. You can
I
tell.
would like some smoked meat. Do they smoke?
Well, I mean, hickory or cherry, which wood are you planning on using, or would you like to have used? But there's definitely one of the two that is far more your type. We'll just say it that way. That one over there on the left, that's your guy. That's your guy for sure.
Oh, that's perfect. I will go say hello to that guy.
Okay. You step inside the gas station just as Abel sort of meets you at the door.
Hey, we need to get the fuck out of here. I don't know what you're doing, but like, if you got your shit, we need to leave now.
I don't have my shit, but I guess I can hold over with what I had earlier. What's happening?
This place is giving me the fucking creeps. There's nobody at their pumps. There's nobody watching their cars, and it's where I'm from. You don't do that. And then looking at the pumps themselves, it's oscillating the same number over and over and over again. We can't fucking be here.
To me, that just seems like we're out in the country, but if you have a nagging feeling, I guess I'll defer to your professional opinion.
Yeah, it's my professional opinion. We need to leave.
All right. I'll go get Celine. Did I see Celine go into the bathroom?
You did see Celine go into the bathroom, and interestingly enough, if you're going to advise that Celine and you need to leave with Abel, you are going to have to walk right past that truck driver. And you have a somewhat specific torment, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Would you like to give in to said torment? Or stave it off?
I think it'd be more fun to just give into it. I mean, this place is secluded enough, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. There's nobody here, and there's probably space and room in the bathroom, right?
Oh, for sure.
And so one of the things that one of the things that makes up their character in Cureseborne is that they have torments. They have things that they have to fulfill, the personal or potentially lineage torments. Every type of accursed comes from a different background, a different family and path. And Evie has a very specific torment. She gets hungry for certain things. So, Abel, I won't say that you see the look in Evie's eye when she walks back to the bathroom because, well, you don't. But you know the look of a predator when it walks. And that is exactly what she is doing.
This is not smart, but he's gonna walk up behind her and grab her by the wrist.
Excuse me, I am busy.
Yeah, I can see that, but we can't be busy right now. We can't be anything right now. We're fucking running.
Well, maybe, excuse me, and then I tap the gentleman on his shoulder. Maybe, what's your name?
You, fellow turns sort of half, he's got like half of a, like, microwave cheeseburger in his mouth, and he turns to you. And he sort of mumbles, Bobby.
Oh, wonderful, Bobby. I heard that I need some help in the restroom really quickly. Would you mind? You seem like a strong, capable gentleman.
He looks 100% befuddled at the idea that you're asking to have his assistance in the bathroom. He sort of glances towards the game for a second and then takes the cheeseburger, like bites it and puts it down, like as if he's going to come back later, as if the slot machine is simply like his table. And you see him start to turn towards you to stand up.
Make it quick.
And then I go towards the restroom.
Walk towards the restroom. Celine, you're cleaning yourself up in the bathroom when from one of the far stalls you hear a voice a voice of someone young. And it's this muffled crying that begins to reverberate inside one of these stalls. And over, they're just muffling the words, "They left me, they left me, they left me." Why would they leave me? Where did they go?
Close their eyes. Alright. Doing this internally.
Mm-hmm.
I already had enough shit to deal with tonight. Don't get involved in human affairs. But it's a kid. Parents could have money. Okay. I go softly tap on the door.
You stall door sort of rattles a little bit when you tap on it, and you hear the sniffling sort of ease up a little bit. Yeah? Mom?
Are you okay? No. Are you okay in there, sweetie?
No.
No. What's wrong?
I don't know where my mom and dad went.
Well, what's your name?
Rose?
Well, hi, Rose. I'm Celine. Why don't you come out of there and we will go find your mom?
I don't know if I should.
Why? Did something happen?
Yeah. Something's wrong.
Well, why don't you come out and tell me about it? I promise I won't hurt you. And if you'd like, I can get you a candy bar.
Oh. Okay, I like candy bars.
Oh, well, why don't you come out, wash your hands, and let's go find a candy bar and you tell me about what happened to your mom.
The stall door rattles again a little bit. You hear some shifting from behind it. There's a little bit of a light scrape from probably a shoe on the floor. The tile here is a little cracked, pitted. Probably hasn't seen a good remodel in, well, who knows how long. And the door rattles another time, and the door eventually swings inward. And inside you see a young girl, probably no more than, 8th, 9th grade. She's in an oversized Nirvana t-shirt and a pair of blue jeans and some Converse that have been painted and decorated with a bunch of pink charms. And her sandy brown hair is long and unkempt. Like, she has a failed ponytail. And it looks like it's failed since like 3 hours ago, and she's just sort of left it. She has little freckles across her cheeks. Has a cute sort of button nose and blue eyes. And she steps out. Very gingerly at first. And she sort of looks you up and down in your, super expensive dress and $300 shoes and plunging neckline, and she seems to stand in awe of you almost. This is not something that you're unfamiliar with, because almost everybody on the fucking planet does that when they're in front of you. But you realize in that moment that you might be making a very deep impression on this child. And that is when the entire scene is arrested by the slam of the bathroom door as a large person walks in. A man, probably in his mid-50s, overalls, t-shirt, bits of cheeseburger still clinging to his plump lips. And behind him, in a rather evocative movement, is Evie.
Oh, goodness. Hi, Celine. This is Bobby.
Ma'am, he tips his trucker hat to you. Looks like it's a green John Deere hat.
He's here to look at something over there on the wall. You know, like some sort of plumbing. Bobby, go take a look. See if it looks weird or something. I don't know. Who's this? I point to the kid.
This is my new friend Rose. We are going to look for her mom, who seems to have left her.
Oh, no. I'm so sorry. You guys should go ahead and go look around a little bit. I'll be right there.
Yes, we'll go look ahead. You have fun looking at your plumbing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I lead Rose out, and as we go, you look like you might be in high school. Do they use the word slut at your school?
You exit the bathroom.
Oh, did I hear that?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, boy. What is that? Oh, no. Oh, no. I might have mechanical questions then.
Sure. Would you like to do something about what being... Would you like to be... That she just called you a slut.
Ah, that sounds awfully judgmental to me.
It sure does.
Oh gosh. I don't know if I'm more.
That's gonna trip up your personal lineage a little bit, right? Your personal torment, because you hate being judged.
I fucking hate it. But I feel like, oh boy, I think I'm more hungry right now than anything, especially because it's a long road trip. I need to fill up my cooler first, but my gosh, I will come back to this. Is that something I'm able to do? Am I able to fight against?
I think so. I think you can do it. Only because you are currently trying to give in to your other need, right? You're in the middle of something already, and so I'm gonna allow you to make the choice, right? To continue on with Bobby and the plumbing issue there's here. So the door swings shut. You probably stare daggers at the back of Celine's head as the door shuts, and that's also something you're gonna see, Abel. From the more front of the store where you were, you see Celine come out of the woman's bathroom with a kid. This just keeps fucking getting worse.
I wish you guys would be fucking normal, you know? I wish you guys would just fucking like take the situation that we're in right now and take it a little more seriously. Who the hell is this?
This is Rose. Rose, let's go pick out a candy bar and let's talk about where your mom went.
Hi.
Abel, I'm never gonna be normal, so shut up.
His name is Abel?
Yeah, like Cain and Abel.
Oh yeah, like from the Bible.
Yeah, like from the Bible. Celine, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
You're dead. Your brother kills you.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't have I'll have to deal with that in therapy one day. But right now, Celine, we have to go.
All right, let's find her mom. Let Evie finish working on the plumbing.
That's a whole other issue. Rose, how old are you?
Oh, 13? Don't you know, though? You have to know the chapter, right? Genesis 4:8. And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass when they were in the field, and Cain rose up against his brother Abel and slew him. And she smiles real wide. My daddy taught me that in church.
Yeah. So like, out of character question. I guess out of character question for a very in character scenario. Being a Catholic as I am, out of character, when people quote the Bible in certain instances, it comes off like, "Hey, that kid's fucking possessed." Is there a role I could do? Not to see if the kid's possessed, but like, this doesn't seem normal.
I think that you're well within your rights as a player in character to take it however you like. I would say, just as someone who has a background having grown up in a religious household, very few people quote chapter and verse of the Bible. And the people that do, usually you stay away from.
Yeah, at all costs. Celine, that kid's a fucking freak. We need to leave.
That's not nice. She pulls on your hand, Celine. Why did he say that?
We're all freaks. Some of us are freakier than others. Rose, tell us what happened to your mom before Abel freaks out and goes and kills another brother.
My mom and dad came in here to get gas. They said that I could go to the bathroom, that I had to come right back. And so I came in and I started looking at the shelves, and I went and wanted to pick out candy, but I remembered that my parents don't let me have candy. And so I rushed back to the cashier, and he said my parents were gone. And it didn't matter how much I screamed and yelled, but they wouldn't come back. And so I remember that I told them that I was going to go to the bathroom. And so I went back to the bathroom and I put myself in the stall and I just waited, figuring they would come look for me.
Told who? He who?
The cashier. She points towards the front.
Pointing at the 50, 60-year-old man.
No, that's the guy behind the chicken counter. The young kid that's
Gotcha.
at the cashier for the gas station itself is probably 20, 22, like I said.
Is your car still out there, Rose? Are your mom and dad's car still out there?
She gets on her tiptoes to try to look out the window because of all of the, food and snack racks. You can't really see out the window. I don't know. I'd have to go to the front.
Maybe we should go talk to the cashier, Abel. And as a side note, does she seem like a very sheltered 13? Because, most 13-year-olds would maybe have the mind to maybe find help if their parents disappeared.
That's probably one conclusion you could draw. Sheltered is... a lot of people could be considered sheltered. So you'd need to know a little bit more about Rose before you would definitely consider that. But she's got relatively modern clothes. As far as her education, you'd have to talk to her a little bit more to figure out where she's at. But she happily heads towards the front. She stops halfway through and starts looking at the candy bars. Are we really going to be able to get one of these candy bars?
Yeah, go ahead and grab one. Without peanuts.
No.
Just in case.
No peanuts. Okay. She looks around. You see her reach up and get a king-size Hershey bar. Sort of plucks it. I mean, it's way bigger than her hands. And then she begins to skip up towards the front.
Celine, are you fucking serious right now?
What? What?
What's the plan? Okay, listen. No. You know what? No. Before we even get into that, we have to leave like ASAP because there's nobody's monitoring their own cars outside with the pumps. The readers all read 8 over and over and over and over again. This place is fucking weird. We have to go.
Well, don't you find it a little odd that there's nobody out by their cars and there's very few people in here?
Yeah, no, I do. That's why we need to leave. It's not my problem. This kid's not my problem.
You know, I would most of the time agree with you that leave humans to do human things and do stupid things. But this is like a kid?
Yeah, that's a kid. But like it's also a little weird creature. Like it was just quoting Bible verses at me, telling me I'm dead. I'm not inclined to really shake its hand and, find its mother. So I'm not seeing what you're seeing here. I'm not seeing how this is our problem. Also,
Okay.
she said she was 13. She's well, like she's babysitting age. She doesn't need a babysitter. She's the babysitter. So she can handle herself at this age.
All right. I'll take her to the cashier, tell them to call the cops so they can come get this child, put her in wherever. Social services can come get her, and then we'll be on our merry way. Happy?
Sure. Use a fake name, because we don't need any trace at all.
I'm not gonna tell Abel. I already told Rose my name.
Oh my god.
You head towards the cashier. So, Evie, Bobby is, if nothing else, a helpful individual.
Mhm.
He, upon, the child and Celine exiting, genuinely looks around
Mhm.
and eventually turns to you and says, what do you need help with?
I got a question. How do spells work?
You have a question. How do spells work? Well, that is an interesting question. And so we can dive in a little bit to the guide and talk about how spells work in Cureseborne.
Mm-hmm.
So, accursed magics work a couple of different ways. So, let's see here. There is usually a spell description. So, if you were looking at a specific spell, if you would give us the description of the spell, that will help us plot out the ways.
Perfect. I'm thinking about using Dire Command. Make an influence action against your target to force them to follow a command you give them. The target is compelled to follow your command to completion or until the scene ends, whichever comes first.
Okay. I like that for you. It probably, leans on a lot of really high abilities for you. Okay, so I was lucky enough to get the paper copy of this at an event this weekend. So, influence encompasses everything from convincing a friend to do you a favor to intimidating an enemy into giving up a valuable secret. So the character initiating the influence, that would be Evie in this case, is going to use an appropriate skill plus an attribute. Now, I am going to imagine that Evie is going to want to use manipulation and likely persuasion to do so. Given the fact that, well, that's really where likely her gusto is. So we'll use those, and then Bobby will defend with resolve or composure.
Okay.
So I will roll Bobby's resolve. Best of luck to Bobby.
Shout out my boy Bobby.
And if you would roll manipulation and persuasion.
Sorry, I'm just trying to calculate here for a moment. Okay, so
Okay.
I got 2 successes because the ones cancel out a 10, correct?
So
the 10's just...
ones don't cancel. We were updated in chat from
Oh,
Kerhumd.
sorry.
Apologies, I'm not pronouncing that right. So the ones only come into play when we get no successes. So
Okay.
they don't cancel. in this
Okay,
system.
because I got 2 10s and a 1.
Okay, so 2 10s would be 4 successes.
Gotcha.
So you are able to potentially purchase tricks with your successes. You'll have succeeded. Bobby, as good a man as he is, rolled 0 successes when standing next to Evie for his resolve. His resolve was annihilated by the member of House Bathory who's here. I'll just read them to you fairly quickly. You would have the ability to buy basically any of these, or potentially multiples. So you could forge a new bond with Bobby, and deepen that bond immediately. So you can only purchase this one on a single target once per scene. And when you have somebody who's a bond, you can do more things through them because they suddenly care about you. You could encourage or prevent a thought with 2 hits. So you change your target's mind about something important to them in the moment. You either provide a compelling lie or reveal evidence of a truth that they had not yet known. You could, with 2 hits, persuade. So you persuade your target to take an additional action they would not have previously on top of the original influence. Or you could shift their attitude. Your influence changes your target's heart, shifting their attitude towards the character up or down 1 level. So I can only imagine what you might like to do. So right now, his attitude to you is neutral. You could shift his influence up to positive. You would gain 1 social advantage on him in any challenges thereafter.
Yeah, I guess I may as well do that. I just reread the rest of the description and I can't make him do something that's against his, puts him in danger, so...
Oh, that's okay. But you can
Oopsies.
become very friendly with him.
Mhm.
And the nice part about that is that he's, given the lack of successes, he looks very suggestible.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm going to hand him a steak knife that I took off the diner and just say, hey, may I have your heart?
He sort of takes the knife.
Is he holding it up? Like
Yeah.
he might be? Okay, cool, because I will just shove it right in there. That way he's not, like, acting on his basic... I'll just kind of elbow it in, so...
Okay. I love this for you. So you are giving in to... You're going to begin fulfilling... We'll play with little curse dice here. You're going to begin fulfilling your family path here. Because I assume that you're going to get something to eat, yes?
Oh, correct, yes. I have the cooler with me.
Yeah. So you push real hard on the end of this knife, and it sinks right into his chest, and he begins gasping. He doesn't cry out, but you can hear him begin to gasp. The undead, which the hungry are very strong when they need to be. So because you're beginning to fulfill a path, I'm going to give you a curse die. So now 1 of your dice, when you roll them, will be a curse die. That'll also allow you to get a hold of powers and that sort of thing as you need. He looks like he is choking. He's having a hard time breathing. He falls like to his knees, and you can see his whole form is just shuddering and coughing, and blood is beginning to seep out of the wound in his chest down this shirt, and the underside of the overalls he's wearing is beginning to darken, and you can smell your food. And Bobby is the type of person who's well marbled on the inside.
Oh.
And he smells fantastic. You just want to just live in this moment as long as you can.
I'm not gonna wait till he's dead. I'm just gonna dive right in. Well, saying like, "Oh, you serve a better purpose right now. Thank you so much, and I appreciate this. I appreciate this was your choice."
You gonna leave the knife in him?
If I elbowed it in, it might not have my prints on it, right?
Probably not.
Probably. Yeah, I think I will.
Okay.
I will leave the... It's a steak knife, it's not my knife.
No. He collapses back onto his butt and then falls against one of the walls nearby. And slowly and very surely, the tile of the woman's bathroom at this truck stop begins to be flooded with blood. And dinner is served. So, Rose and Celine make it to the front of the cashier desk. And with authority unknown to a 13-year-old, except outside of a social media post, she slams the chocolate bar down. She says, "I want to eat this right now." You see the attendant wheel over towards you, not even getting up out of his cashier's chair. He wheels over towards you. He has a name tag on. It says Carl. "Oh, what do you got there?" "Hershey's, huh?" Carl meets your gaze. "Celine." "Evening, ma'am." He begins pushing buttons on the cashier desk.
Yeah, I pushed my beef jerky up to him.
"Oh, yeah. Beef jerky. No road trip complete without it, right?" Taps a few other buttons.
For sure. Carl? Is that your name?
He looks down at his polo. "Yep."
Yeah, so this young lady right here, Rose, is missing her mom. And she said
That's
she
terrible.
talked to you. You said they left.
"Yeah, I remember that. He sort of looks around the space a little bit. "Boy, that was a while ago. I can't believe you're still here, kiddo."
So why didn't you call the police? It's like minor, parents left, abandonment. Do they do things differently out here in Wisconsin? Are we in Wisconsin?
We're not in Wisconsin just yet,
Oh, okay.
but we are
Do they
outside
do
of Cook
things?
County.
Do they do things differently out here in Northern Illinois?
Yeah, I just honestly, we have been so busy I hadn't gotten to it yet. Now, you couldn't have been here more than, what, an hour? He looks down at Rose. You see her begin putting up little fingers until she gets to 4. "I think I've been in here about 4 hours, mister. You weren't doing your job." She points at him.
I hold back a smirk. All right, can you get the police on the line, please, and have them come out here?
"Sure, yeah." He turns.
Did you see the parents leave in a car? Or did they just like poof magically? 'Cause, I mean, magic doesn't exist.
He shrugs. To be honest, the end of summer like this, start of school season, we see kids and parents come in here all the time. I mean, we're the only gas station for, I don't know, 20 miles or so. He turns to the desk, puts his ear up to the receiver as he gets the phone out, pushes a couple of numbers. He turns back. Just take the jerky and the chocolate bar. It's fine."
Did I see him press 911?
No, you did not. You saw him dial a 10-digit number. It rings and rings, and you hear his voice perk up a second. Yeah, hey, this is the Archway station down here. Could you send a squad by? We got a kid here who's lost. Their parents must have taken off. They've been here for a little while, sorry. He turns around, covers the phone for a second. Well, what'd you say your name was?
This is Rose. Rose, what's your last name?
Milner.
Rose Milner. And where are you from, Rose?
Just down the road.
Oh, so you're from this area?
Boy, family's got a farm a few miles down the road.
You guys ever hear of the Milners?
Oh, yeah. He turns back and gives the police station the information. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. He hangs the phone up. They'll probably have some down here in 5 minutes or so.
All right, well, thanks for your help.
Sure thing.
Rose, why don't you stay here with Carl, and a very nice police officer will come by and take you home.
Well, I mean, I can't just stay with you. I don't know who that guy is.
It'll be fine.
Okay. She unwraps the chocolate bar and gives the, first piece that she sees, an enormous chomp. Begins to really... You ever seen a kid who hasn't had chocolate in like a good solid week or two? Maybe it's that first piece of Halloween candy. That's the sort of fervency that Rose attacks this chocolate bar with.
So are there windows behind me? Like where I guess on my face, is there, like, are the doors, the entrance doors behind me and the counters in front of me?
Mm-hmm.
And I look at Carl, like, Carl, so what's up with all the cars out there? Where's all the people?
Oh, they're out over there in the restaurant. He points back behind. You see that the place that makes fried chicken has like a eatery. There's 4 or 5 people that are sitting in there. Probably a couple of truck drivers.
Yeah, but how many cars are out in the parking lot?
Probably a handful. So we're about to get an ad, and so we will see you on the other side of it. For those of you who are subscribed, thank you for subscribing. You're not seeing this ad and having to suffer the whims of capitalism. You are in charge, and we greatly appreciate your subscription to the channel. And we'd hope you would share this channel with others so that they can encourage us to have more fun with you. So I don't want to move too terribly far from where we're at. We're also going to get pretty close here to our break. So when we resume, I think what I'd like to do, if I could, Abel, you're sort of in the middle of this spot between a Rose and a woman's bathroom. I guess that's the best analogy I can come up with.
Right.
Why don't you give me that same sort of wits and enigma? We'll just sort of paddle. We'll duck paddle here for the next 50 seconds until the rest of the stream is back.
Understood, absolutely.
Right. That exact action, Morgan. We're just paddling as best we can.
That doesn't look half bad. What is that one's not great. That one's not great. And okay, we've got 3 successes so far.
That's very good. Okay. So, being in this space for probably a good 5 minutes or so, with the amount of people who are not far from you in this sort of food court area, you begin to notice a couple of things that sort of stick in your perceptions. Welcome back from ads. Thanks for sticking with us. So Abel is investigating the gas station a little bit more, and he's noticed something a little strange. Not just the kid that quotes Bible verses or the cars out front that seemingly are pumping gas endlessly. The other thing you notice is that doesn't smell like chicken. Fried chicken oil is here, and it's wondrous in its own right. You've been to a lot of really good fried chicken restaurants. You smell that, but your perceptions are really sharp. And there is an undertone of something else. It smells like... well, the closest thing you can put to it is bacon. But you don't see anybody eating bacon.
I don't like this place. Against my better judgment, I'm gonna wander a little closer to the source of the scent.
You walk a little closer.
And, yeah, just trying to peer in and see, kind of like, there's no sign of any type of pork product or anything like that.
You look in. You sort of have to lean a little bit through the door. That doorway. You see that there's a man who's clearly the person working this counter here, this food space, and he's deep frying different pieces of meat. There's baskets being lifted, and there's stuff being placed in another one and plunged, and there's the crackle of the oil and the sizzle of the meat. And that's when you notice, just beyond his position in that little galley-style kitchen, the one with probably 10 feet less space than it really needs to be a kitchen, where any more than one person likely walks over or collides with the other person constantly throughout the day. You notice beyond him that there's a body on the ground. And it's missing a forearm. And there's another body piled on top of it. And it looks like he's about halfway through that one.
Does this seem like from where I'm standing, would it be obvious to anyone else who's standing where I'm standing?
No. You'd have to really lean and look in. And this man is not small by any means. This is probably a guy who is in the service, maybe. He's got a big frame, well oiled and muscled body. Oiled just from the ambient oil in the cooking area space. He's not oiling himself up by any means. But he's someone who's real strong. Forearm, shoulder, pectoral. He covers most of the space himself. Only your heightened perceptions were able to glean the information. But now you have to figure out what you're going to do with it.
Well, I think I'm not equipped to handle this myself, nor do I feel inclined to handle this myself. I think I'm gonna back up a bit and probably go try to find Celine. Evie might still be eating Bobby, or whatever it is Evie does. Yeah, but I'm not the largest of individuals, and my talents lie a little bit elsewhere. So I'm gonna go try and see if I can get some backup or figure out what our plan of attack is, if we are even gonna come up with a plan of attack.
Okay. I want to zip back into the ladies' restroom. And I'd like to know, Evie, I'd like you to give us some narrative on what you are doing to Bobby.
Well, after he plunged the knife into his chest, and I think I would like some choice parts of the meat. So I first go in through his mouth to start pulling stuff out, because I want the scene to be clear and I want people to assume that he did this all himself, because he totally did. This is, his choice. So, yeah, I would like to grab some intestines, his heart, definitely the tongue. I think that's quite important. And just, I'm diving more and more into it. Like, Evie is just enjoying this a little bit too much, to the point where, like, she doesn't even care about, like, making it look like an accident anymore. I'll just take what I want, anything that I want from this Bobby, and start throwing bits of him into my cooler. I would like to get as much blood as I possibly can into the thermos. And yeah, maybe I think I'll grab some loose pills from my pocket and just throw them on him. So, like, maybe he went through a bad salt trip or something.
So I'm going to give you an additional curse die for exemplifying House Bathory there in your, blood bath of Bobby. You take him apart, mostly through the mouth. It is exhilarating. The tongue especially, all of the different flavors that Bobby has had on his tongue, they're like it's like glancing into history. You get beyond the cheeseburger, you get beyond the orange soda, you get beyond the Little Debbie sweet rolls, and you get into some really, like, he had some beef jerky 2 or 3 days ago. That little segments of the teriyaki flavoring are still sitting there for you. And it's an experience. And as far as blood, there's more than enough to fill you and the thermos, as is necessary. The one thing you are not going to get away with is getting away clean, per se. Such a exaltation, such a event as taking on Bobby's form in all of its delicious portions for you. It's going to be hard for you to walk out of this room clean. I wonder how you mentally manage that.
I think I would like to tarnish the scene by overflowing the toilets and the sinks.
Okay. I'm not going to make you roll for that because I think it's interesting. But I would like you to tell us how you're going to overflow the toilet.
Sure, I'm just going to shove as much with my foot.
Of course.
Toilet paper, toilet rolls specifically, especially in the toilet bowls. And then maybe I'll just use Bobby's clothes to stuff up some of the sinks.
Certainly. There's
He
more
doesn't
than
need
enough
them.
of them. I mean, he's probably in the 4 to 5X category as far as his shirts go. He's a rather large person. Not super tall, but he was loving, and it was nice of him to leave you his cheek meat. You remember that the best. The floor begins to... Well, it turns from the harsh red to maybe a rose red here. And now the floor, which has no drain, is beginning to slowly rise with water, especially with the toilet continuing to try to flush. That is quite effective.
Wonderful. Then I will walk out while saying thanks for the help with the plumbing, Bobby.
I think it's a wonderful time now at this juncture for us to take a short break. So I'm going to encourage you, our audience, to get up, stretch, take a few minutes, deal with whatever biological needs you might have, and I'll have our cast do the same. And when we come back, we'll get back to this gas station where some things are afoot for sure. Thanks.
We were doing it so loudly, though.
I know, right? So loudly. Hey, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. We're back to the second part of tonight's stream. I wanted to thank all of our folks in stream chat who are being super useful and super helpful. So I hope you are enjoying it. We are having fun playing with Cureseborne, and maybe we don't get everything rules right, and that's okay, because ultimately what this is about having fun. So what I want you to remember when it comes to this is that Onyx Path right now is kickstarting Cureseborne. It's over on Kickstarter right now. I will drop a link in the chat, and I will try to pin it. And hopefully after I pin it, people will be able to get to it. There we go. Awesome. And if you haven't backed it yet, I encourage you to do so. I think it's a fun game. It's based on StoryPath Ultra, which is a interesting and sort of fun system to play around with. And I think it's really advantageous to get on the ground floor when a company like Onyx Path goes back to horror. And that's really what this is that for them, it's a new horror system for them. And I think as times showed, the folks at Onyx Path really know what they're talking about when it comes to horror. They have had their hands and fingers and all sorts of appendages in it for a long time. And so I trust them to deliver a system that can deliver horror. Okay. So when last we were here, just a few minutes ago, one of the things that we saw was that maybe there's an issue at that counter kitchen space. Maybe there's a problem there. And so I'm wondering if Abel is going to maybe up his we got to get out of this place speech, because things just ain't right. So I will leave it to my players. They have the floor. At this point, the gas station has all 3 Cureseborne in it. So at this point, Evie is coming out of the bathroom with her goods. And Celine is trying to figure things out with the cashier, having gotten the guy to call the cops. And Abel is leaning over, looking in on that eatery kitchen and going, something ain't right here. So the floor is yours, players. What would you like to do first?
I walk out of the bathroom and let Abel know that, okay, I got my to-go box.
Yeah? Did you get your to-go box? Well, I mean, if you're still hungry, there's fucking spares because they're eating people here, so I don't know if it's one of yours or...
How did I miss that? Celine,
Fuck
did
if
you
I
kill
know.
them?
You gotta...
Oh, excuse me.
Please.
Oh, I have nothing else to say. I'm just admiring the work. So what would you like to do here, Abel? Because...
Leave. I think I've been
Oh.
pretty adamant about that. I don't think we need to be here.
You have
If
been a
it's
little
one
clear.
of... If it's a human and they're eating people, it's not our business. If it's one of ours, or if it's one of ours, then it's even more not my business. I'm not gonna, it's not my fucking problem. And I'm not gonna piss on someone else's hunting ground.
Okay, let's wrap it up then.
Celine, I don't know if you saw, Celine found a kid.
Yeah, Rose.
Oh,
Are
cool,
you
you guys
asking
have
to
met.
take her with?
No, hell no. I don't.
Oh,
No.
okay. Sorry, I'm not sure where you're at on the scale of hungry, or
I'm
I
not
don't know
exactly,
how that works.
I'm not exactly the best, role model for any type of,
Oh, don't say that about yourself. You'd be a wonderful role model. You drive so well.
uh-huh. Well, cool. We can talk adoption when we are in the clear, I suppose. Let's go find Celine. Yeah, you got your to-go bag. You got your goodies.
Yeah, thank you for asking.
How was Bobby?
He's a little tired.
Yeah, he looked a little. I'm not gonna judge. You eat what you eat.
Thank you.
Okay, so finding Celine is fairly straightforward. She's near the front of the store. She is near Rose, although I don't think the two are holding hands anymore as Rose is continuing to consume this chocolate bar.
Oh, Rose got her little treat too, huh?
You can hear her like lick the tip of her fingers. And oddly enough, it sort of reminds you of you.
What's going on?
We really really need to go. Is Rose is within earshot, right?
Yeah, she's right there.
Okay.
She doesn't actively seem to be paying attention to what you're doing. She seems to be sort of consumed with like licking out the chocolatey insides of this wrapper.
Cool. Yeah, we really need to go. The I'm not with the vibe here, and the the client base I think that they serve is more akin to what Evie enjoys. If you catch my drift.
They like, they like blood.
Along with its packaging, it looks like.
Evie, are some of your people here?
Yeah, I'll look around and see if I recognize anybody in the diner really quick. Just
You start looking around in that diner space and you see that there are, again, tables filled with people that seem to be eating fried chicken.
I don't recognize any faces.
Not really. Frankly, you don't think any of these people would probably make the cut. I mean, being what you are is sort of special. At least in your mind. The kitchen does sort of have a strange vibe to it. You don't know what's going on in there, but they're producing fried chicken at quite the pace. And having been in and around different eateries for all sorts of different things, you'd know that fried chicken takes time.
No, Celine, I don't recognize anybody here. That doesn't mean that they're not something similar, I guess.
Are we interested in making new friends, or are we ready to go? Is that kid? Is its parents coming, or what are we?
The parents are, I'm assuming, chicken.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
So normally
Fuck.
I would be fine, but they're just randomly grabbing kids' parents and eating them. Like, have you no style if you're gonna do stuff like that? Storyteller, would I be able to roll to know what kind of Cureseborne outside of Evie or other creatures might eat human flesh?
Would you be able to roll for that?
Would I be able to use Esoterica
Yeah. I could see
And-
esoterica, sure.
in intellect?
Yep.
Okay.
Now, before you do that, just so all of our Cureseborne are clear, you can, to gain curse dice, you can pluck at the threads intentionally, the threads that sort of bring you all together. And in doing so, you can gain curse dice from that.
Can you
This
give
is
an
your story guide
example?
staring at the paper like, give me the answer. No.
So what would be an example thread?
That's just it's just a phrase. That's what they call it.
Mhm.
So
we're talking universally thread of
yeah,
life,
it's
or us together as in the crew.
no. It's Morgan saying, "I'd really like to get cursed dice, and the one way I'm doing is I'm going to force it sort of into me, so that way I can get it." Now, you can also get cursed dice a couple of different ways. So, as an example, in the first part of the session, Evie got cursed dice because she gave in to fulfilling an obligation, right, for her family path, right, being hungry and having Bobby meet a terrible end inside the women's bathroom because she wanted to fill her bucket of parts. And that's okay. No judgment here. So you could gain a curse die when you fulfill an obligation to your family or to your role path. You could gain a curse die when you give in to your personal or lineage torment. So all of our Cureseborne have torments, and that is a facet of their characters. You can gain a curse die the first time in a scene where the entire crew comes together to solve a problem or deal with a situation, and boy, isn't this that time. So I think
We have a curse die.
it might be it might be wonderful enough for me to just give you all one curse die. You remember with Entanglement 1, you'll max at 5. So for you, Evie, that's 3 you're holding right now. You can gain a curse die when you enter a place of deferment if you currently have no curse dice. And so that doesn't necessarily apply here. You can gain a curse die when you exemplify your family's themes. And you can gain a curse die when you act out your damnation compulsion, whether or not you're suffering from your damnation or not. We won't worry about that as of yet. So yes, you have a curse die. Now, all of you do at least have one, and that could power certain spells or abilities. And it will replace at least one die in all of the dice you roll. And why that's important is because you have an opportunity on curse dice to gain wicked successes or very cruel failures. And they are some of the more interesting portions of this system when we talk about what happens to you. So when you roll those curse dice, make sure they are either different colored or you're rolling them separately so that way we can account for them. Okay?
All right. Well, I'm going to roll my esoterica
Mm-hmm.
and my intellect. That gives me 7 dice. And I've got a 10 on one of my dice and an 8. So I've got 3 successes. And on my curse die, I got a 4.
Okay, yeah. Really, it only matters if it's a 10 or a 1. So you have 3 successes. So that's a great question, right? Is it possible that there's someone else here? 3 successes. You probably know a little bit about the hungry. You have traveled with Evie for an indeterminate amount of time. I highly doubt, and I won't put words in your mouth by any means, Evie, so feel free to correct your story guide if this is different. I don't think that she's the sort of hungry who's going to let on to like all of the inner workings of House Bathory. It's probably not her game. They're a little exclusive, or at least they feel they are. But the hungry can really feed on a lot of different things. But there are some immutable things about all hungry. One is, if they choose to, you'd know that they can become very strong if necessary, physically strong. They also are prey to stereotypes. So if a hungry's having a bad day, it's possible that they can't cross running water, or they need to be invited into your house to talk to you, or fire is really, really bad for them to be around. But that said, there are other hungry that you're aware of. And some of those hungry might feed on flesh. But frankly, if you had to pick, I mean, Bathory would be the people that you pick to eat flesh. That's kind of their thing. Yeah, it's either that or maybe it's another entity that lives in this space that chooses to consume flesh. It's a question, and it's likely something that you're going to have to investigate a little more if you want to get to the bottom of.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go into the restaurant and sit down at the bar, the counter.
Sure.
Say the bar.
Yeah, I mean it is a bar top counter, and there are not 50s style, but like 70s or 80s style bar seats. There's 5 of them.
Well, actually, first, storyteller, before I go and sit down, is there a jukebox or music player or anything?
There is a music player. It's attached to the wall.
All right, I'm gonna go throw. Well, what year is it? It's 2024. It's probably like $30 to play one song. Because here we are.
It's not $30, but it does. It takes 1s, 5s, or credit cards.
No, I put a 5 in there.
Okay. You put a 5 in, you get 10 songs.
Oh, nice. I play. Is it a lot of country? Since
This is something that seemingly has a fairly wide database. So you have both types of music, country and western.
oh well, wonderful. I'm gonna put it on Taylor Swift
Okay.
because, yeah.
You put it on
Let-
Taylor Swift.
Yep. And then I go over and sit down at the counter.
You sit down at the counter. Not but moments later, Rose sits down right next to you.
Of course she does.
You gonna get some chicken?
Oh no. Yeah.
No? It smells
No.
good.
It smells delicious, but you know what? Just, a bit on the lips, puts too much on the hips. Haven't you ever heard that?
She looks at you for a second and then sort of looks around. Are you worried about getting fat?
At my age, you kind of have to maintain.
So
It's a little harder.
you're like old.
I'm like 35.
Whew.
That isn't old.
So you're almost dead.
I mean, she doesn't know how far from the truth that really is.
She turns around just a little bit in the chair and she points at Evie. She's dead.
What of it?
She turns back to the counter. You see the cook come towards you. He's got 2 plates that have fried chicken. He nods at you. I'll be with you folks in just a second. He steps out from behind the counter and then delivers plates, picks up a couple of empties and heads back. Wipes his hands on the towel that he's got, stretched to his waist and says, all right, what can I get you?
Is his arms on the countertop, or did you say he's hands on his waist?
No, hands on his waist. He had just wiped off his hands. There was a towel attached to him. He's trying to make sure he's nice and clean before he takes your order.
Yeah, I lean up on the counter, and so you get a full view of the goods. I mean,
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, big guy, where do you get all your chicken?
Most of it gets delivered. We got a truck that comes in once a day. We do a good bit of chicken out of here, but people here are mostly fans of dark meat, although we do have some breasts occasionally that people will go for. He makes a pointed look at your outfit. Now, Are you a fan of white or dark meat?
I lean over. Is Rose still listening?
Oh yeah, intently.
Oh. I'm a fan of whatever's real chicken back there.
He screws up his features for a second. Real chicken? What do you mean?
You know, real chicken from a farm.
Well, yeah. What else do we serve here?
So just for clarification about where the dead body was that
Mhm.
Abel saw,
Yep.
is it right behind the counter over there? Like if I leaned up more, could I see it?
You think you could if you leaned up and maybe over a little bit?
Yeah. So I'm going to totally do that. I'm going to lean up and over and be like, I don't want that.
You lean up and you lean over and you get a closer look at this guy whose name tag says Richard. And as you lean up and lean over, you don't see anything other than a dirty kitchen floor. Well, dirty's relative, right? But like a kitchen floor in what is effectively a small fast food place. You don't make eye contact with Richard because he is way too busy staring at other things when you lean up and forward.
I feel my cheeks get a little red and, my facial cheeks. And then I lean back and I'm like, sorry, Dick.
Oh, it's okay. I mean, mistakes happen. I can cook you up some chicken. What about you, little lady? And she says, Can I just have the drumsticks? I just want the drumsticks. He nods. Yeah, you and everybody else. He turns around and begins messing with the fryers. Whatever Abel saw, you don't see. Evie, Abel, what are the two of you doing as they're sitting at the counter?
I think because let me make sure I've got this correct. He came, or rather, Celine went up to the counter, correct? And we're still at the table.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna look to Evie and you're gonna tell me that's fucking normal? The kid just called you dead? We're just gonna shrug that off? We're just gonna be like, that's completely normal, that kid's not a freak?
She quoted Bible verses at you and called you dead as well. She hasn't given me any reason to think she's weird or out of place. Why does that skeeve you out so much?
Maybe I don't like kids. I mean, honestly, I'll be real with you. Maybe a part of me just doesn't like kids. But this particular kid freaks me out. And they're clinging to Celine, and that's weird. I don't want to be here anymore. And if the sooner we can get away from the little creature, that would be great.
Oh, little kid? The one that their parents are probably dead and now is probably in our care?
No, don't say that. Don't say that.
It
She's
sounds
not in
like
our
she might
care.
be up for adoption.
Are you looking for a kid? I'm not looking for a kid.
Not really. I just like the idea of having fresh meat around. Come on.
No.
Okay.
No, like
There is, we gotta be inconspicuous and stuff.
not only that, it's just that we again are not in a position to be gallivanting. I mean, I'm I don't want to step on your toes,
Uh-huh.
but I don't think Bobby was a smart move. Regardless of how you cleaned it up, I think that it leaves a trail. I think it leaves a speck to follow, and I pride myself in anonymity.
Uh-huh.
What are you looking at right now? What are we doing? Are you listening to me at all? Are you?
I was just looking at somebody else's position right now. Sorry, what were you saying? I was just like staring off at Selena. Or leaning over the counter.
Yeah, I mean, given the dress and everything else, it's hard not to give her 2 or 3 different looks. She's clearly overdressed for this space, and that is perfectly fine with you, probably.
I feel like I'm the only one that's really. Hey, I feel like I'm the only one that's taking this seriously.
Well, I think that panicking about everything isn't going to help us any. I think we need to keep a calm mind, our stomachs full, and our hearts full of joy as well. Because when you get angry, you lose brain cells. We don't want any of that right now, right? So let's just relax a little bit. Just a little bit. And
I'll tell you what.
also, Bobby was a perfectly good move. Bobby was one of the sweetest plumbers I've met in such a long time.
See, when you say sweet, I know what you mean, and I don't like that. I know that there's a double entendre there that no one else. I'm gonna do my own thing. I'm gonna feel this out a little bit. All right, you guys, I'll keep an eye on you. I'm gonna figure this out. I don't trust that little bastard child. I'm gonna get up from the table.
Okay, get up. Where you headed to?
I think, probably, oh, for what I'm intending to do, probably probably have to step outside.
Okay.
I don't imagine that the bathroom will have what I need. I will have to step outside, probably back toward the gas pumps.
Okay. You walk back out of the restaurant space. You walk across the gas station spaces. You pass all the little aisles. You pass the gas station attendant who's there. He smiles and nods. You see his badge says Carl. You walk with purpose directly to the door. You push on the door, and the door does not move.
Okay. I'm gonna look for in all the little cracks and all the little the untouched places, the places that don't see, a broom or a mop or anything like that outside. Look for any sort of spider web.
Oh, certainly. I'm sure that there are spider webs around here.
Yeah, and I'm gonna dig into my animal can edge.
Okay, so talk us through that animal can edge.
Yeah, rather than give this verbatim, I'll read a couple lines.
Yeah.
Choosing animal type when I take this edge, I think it's fairly obvious during our character creation, and given the content warning. So shout out to our viewers. I'm gonna choose the arachnids. The group, i.e., arachnids, acts as a contact with as many dots as I have in this edge. I have 3 dots in this. So I'm just looking to have a quick conversation or to gain some information from my 8-legged friends.
Okay, you reach out. You go about halfway down one of the aisles here, and you find what looks like a small half table that's sort of screwed to the wall. It sits in front of a couple of the glass windows here. There's a chair here. And all along the side of this space, there's little spider webs woven back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, all the way down, almost like a zipper. There's a couple of different eggs here that have hatched previously. But inside that space, you feel a kindred spirit in there. And you reach out. And a voice returns back to you. And you hear this somewhat garbled, hiss is the wrong word, but it's a fanged mouth. And so they talk with that. Even in the what is in effect a mental conversation. You get the persona on top of that. And you hear, "What secrets do you have for me?"
I have many, and I require one from you in return.
A deal is struck.
I
Speaker's secret.
travel with the hungry. I travel with others of my kind, yet not. We are fleeing the city, and I will account the incident with the 77s
Okay.
and the cause of our departure.
Yeah, so for the benefit of the audience, Abel, give us your perspective on what happened at that dinner.
Yeah, absolutely. I will whisper to them that the 77s tried to grab Celine. They made a grab for power, it seems. Something of an expansion. There was a disagreement. They were expelled for the most part by security. Uh, but something went wrong. I think that they might have started the fire. Uh, there was, as when a fire alarm is pulled, chaos and violence. I am, for my benefit or detriment, always armed with at least 2 or 3 small knives. Um, the largest of which was taken from me without my knowing, and the next thing I knew, I was running, trying to gather up what are, for this purposes, are my companions, and I saw my knife sticking out of a man's chest, and I think it may have been a 77. So I am implicated in this, and there's no real telling. I couldn't grab the knife because he was being retrieved by his companions, and they'll no doubt have seen my maker's mark. And I was able to grab some information, some of the laptops, I believe. But then we had to leave very quickly. Celine and Evie and myself absconded, taking a car, not Celine's or Evie's, or my own, just to try to shake the tail. We drove, and now we are here, trying to figure out the next steps. And this is a very a longer pit stop than is recommended.
I wish I could share with you the comfort of being able to leave, but this is not a place of comfort. I have been here for many, many nights, waiting for the doors to open, waiting for them to give me an opportunity to leave. I have yet to see them open or close. Whatever space this is, it creeps into the outside somewhere. There is a bend nearby, a bend in believable reality. You can see it every now and again. A shape, an image, something which should not be but is. There is something here controlling that. You will need to locate it before you can leave.
Would not leave without you, should you wish to depart. You may nest in my. You may cast a web in my own hair. You may rest with me. Come with me, sibling. We will leave together.
It crawls from inside of its protective web and crawls up onto your clothes and into your hair, where it makes a home very quickly. You hear its voice in your ear every now and again, reassuring you that family best stay together.
I always keep my family safe, my friend. And I will rise and return to my compatriots.
So, Celine, you get your chicken, as does Rose. You get really good-looking chicken. The pieces are cooked just right. There's a beautiful crunching sound, Evie, when Rose chomps into this first piece of chicken. There's almost just a slight quiver inside of you, the memory of what it's like to bite through bone. It has that sound. You're not sure who this kid is, but she's got some sort of perhaps unintentional effect on you. Maybe it's just a kindred spirit. She tends to pull the chicken apart. She really gets into eating this chicken. Richard comes back, washes his hands with the towel, and then sort of unceremoniously begins to watch you eat.
Yeah, I think some of the skin, maybe chew on that. I mean, the skin is the best part of fried chicken. And if you don't think so, then you're just wrong. And that is what Morgan says in real life. Because it is.
It's meat candy.
It is. And I take a bite. Does it taste like fried chicken skin to me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Really, like when you take the skin off of... He gives you a couple pieces, right? So he gives you a couple pieces of dark meat and a couple pieces of white meat. But when you take the skin off the... like the breast piece that he gives you, you get a good swath of it, right? It doesn't come off in little pieces. It comes off in a big piece. And you are able to take a healthy bite of something deliciously unhealthy, but oh so good.
Yeah, I grabbed the nearby hot sauce that's sitting there.
Oh yeah, there's a couple. So there's Tapatio is available. Heine's hot sauce is there as well. So
and Frank's red hot sauce,
and
which
Frank's.
is the preference of Celine's.
Okay.
She dumps it all over the fried chicken. And I think I'm going to utilize my personal torment, which is being myself. I always feel like I live a double life, one where I have to keep my cursed side under control and give in to that desire to, while it's not a sin of the flesh, it's still it's like a sin to gluttony, which is also a desire of, if people eat good food, have great intimate moments, whether that's eating somebody's heart or not.
Right.
And so I'm going to use that personal torment and just dig into this piece of fried chicken. I mean, I might have grease coming down my face, over my breasts. I mean, like, it's there.
You're really digging in. I love that for you. Okay. So you're going to give into a personal torment So you will gain a curse die. That will gain you another one. So you can only have up to 5, but right now you have, I think, 2 it is. And so, yeah, you take a moment to wallow. And I think the external perspective on this is really interesting for you, Evie, because you've really never seen Celine let go of herself. She's very tight as far as like her social acumens and the way she dresses and the way she acts. She sort of rests above a lot of people. At least you think that's how she projects herself. And this is really great for you for a couple of reasons. On the one hand, it's wonderful for you to see her as she really is. Someone who can give in to those external desires. And 2, it means that she really can't put herself above you anymore because she's hungry just in a different way. And that's satisfying for you. So yeah, you dig in to this fried chicken, and seemingly you are unbothered in many ways, but no one seems to pay direct attention to you. You don't get any sort of reaction from everybody. Most of the rest of the crowd that's in here is just eating chicken, and that's what you sort of come back to, Abel, is the entirety of this small eatery is really focused on eating chicken. It's almost quiet when you come back. It's eerily quiet. You know the lunchroom table when everybody's eating and nobody's talking and nobody's playing with their phone. That's what this is. It is full concentration on consuming.
Excellent. Question for our story guide.
Yes.
Would I be able to gain a curse die from my interaction with the spider for fulfilling an obligation to my family path?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for pointing that out.
Excellent. Yeah, he's gonna kind of make his way over to the table where Evie and Celine are sitting. Rose is still with them, it looks like.
Yep.
He's going to pull, at your discretion, the knife, one of the knives that is still left on his person,
Mm-hmm.
and just stab it into the middle of the table.
Okay. You stab into the middle of the table. That's
We're
a little
done
strange.
sightseeing.
Go ahead.
We're done sightseeing. We need to leave.
Well, I was just getting to know Selena.
We can have whatever sort of bonding moment you want in the car. We need to leave now.
Leave? Why would you go anywhere?
Our business doesn't concern you, kid. I'm very sorry that your parents left you, but we have to go now.
Oh. Okay. She pushes the plate of fried chicken back from where it is. Totally cleaned. Like, she didn't eat the bones, but likely tried. She hops down from the chair. Okay, well, maybe I'll see you again. She walks back towards the gas station area and sort of disappears behind one of the aisles.
How long's it been since since Carl called the police?
Oh, probably about 5 minutes too long. I mean, the police should have responded by now.
Yeah, go back up to the cash register.
There's a sign there. It says to be back in 5 minutes.
Of course it does. I go behind the counter.
Okay, you go behind the counter.
I pick up the phone.
Mhm.
And hit redial.
There actually isn't a redial on this phone. It's a pretty standard 10 pad. The phone is probably from like the mid 80s or 90s. It's a beige standard phone receiver, which would weird out most of the people that are probably watching this right now who have really not seen a whole lot of real phones. But you pick up
Real
that sort of
phones.
hefty receiver, you know, and there's no redial button. There's the 1 through 9 and 0, and then a star and an asterisk. That's all you got.
Oh, but does star 69 call them back?
You could try it. You're gonna punch star 69 in.
Yes, and I think in the old days, if you hit the hang up button enough times, it would call the previous person back too. But anyways, yes, I'll hit star 69.
Okay, star 69. Very nice. And you get a tone, and then it begins to ring. And then it picks up, and you hear a voice on the other end of his phone. And it says, "Hello?" It's Rose's voice. "Hello?"
Yeah, I just hang the phone back up.
You hang the phone back up, and you hear before it lands, "Mom?"
Did I hear Rose in the store saying hello too?
No. You just heard it through the receiver. You actually don't see Rose as you look around just for a second, naturally.
I am so confused at this moment, but I go back over to Abel and Evie, and I say, I think it's time to go.
Great. Glad we're finally on the same page.
Well, you got the keys. Let's, GTFO.
Yep. Pry the knife out of the table and make our way to the car.
You make your way towards the doors. And you get to the doors. The three of you get to the doors. This time, they push open. There's a metal on metal sound as the door opens. There's a bell that goes off somewhere. And you look out there and you see the same cars parked in the same spaces. And at this point, it's probably been 20 minutes, you think, since you got here. You see the same pumps, Abel, issuing the same gas, the numbers rolling over the same way. And the world tilts a little bit on its axis. You get a little dizzy. You feel your heart inside your chest pulse a little bit. And even as you're walking, you stumble just very slightly.
Son of a bitch. All right, well, they did warn me this wasn't going to be easy. We can't leave yet.
Why?
something's holding people here, and it is holding us here now, and I don't feel great, and I'm not feeling great about it. So, we need to determine what the hell that is, kill it, and then we can go.
I like this plan. I'm excited for this plan.
Right. I'm gonna start with the cashier behind that's working on the chicken, and I'm gonna pull a knife out and start to just any feedback on the said plan, or we all kosher with this?
I'm sorry, what's the plan? You're gonna go interrogate the cook?
With a knife.
No, I'm gonna kill him. Um,
Are you gonna just start killing people until what? We can leave?
Honestly, that's probably my plan A. Is there a plan B that you'd like to put up to the group?
Why don't we go talk to the cook? I can be very persuasive when I want to be,
Yeah, I saw how persuasive you could be.
as did the
I
rest
think
of
that I think you're more distracting to our friendly fry cook. But if you want to ask him a few questions, by all means, I will hold off for the time being. But I'm getting really antsy here, guys, and I don't like being outside of my hovel, and this is not very. I have no plan. I have no preparation here.
The question, was Abel the only one that started feeling dizzy and sick?
Yep. At the moment, you're all, well, you're festively plump at this point.
Oh, yeah.
So, Abel, you turn around to head back inside to go potentially accost the cook at the counter. If that's the plan, that's fine.
Menace.
Let me know.
I'll urge Celine on if you want to have any questions for this gentleman, by all means. If you want to question the people, but I'm not feeling great. If you get my drift.
How about you and Evie go find Little Rose? Because that's not really Little Rose.
What does that mean?
She's an imposter. Little Rose is at home with her mom.
Mm-hmm. Elaborate?
Well,
How do we know that?
I called the number that Carl, the friendly neighborhood cashier, called when I asked to call the police, and so I star 69 that, and Little Rose picked up the phone.
You asked to call the police?
To get a lost kid? Yes.
What
Would you have done? Eaten the kid?
I mean, she'd technically be an
Yes.
orphan, so I think that would be easier on my mission.
All right, well, let's avoid eating children.
I will try.
Thank you. But-
So, go ahead, please.
Yes, go interrogate the child, not child. And I'll talk
Excellent.
to our fry cook.
Okay. So the group heads back in. And when you head back into the gas station, it's fairly clear that a few things have changed. The era seems to have changed a little bit. So the gas station seems to have stepped back a good 10 to 15 years. It's stepped back in the products that it sells, in the prices that it has. And for the most part, the only thing that seems to be just about the same is the eatery where the chicken's made. The people in the eatery have changed seats. Similar people, similar looking people anyway, but they have changed seats. In one of those seats, there is a couple, man and woman, and the woman is pregnant. You also see that in the hallway to head to the bathrooms and the shower, there is a sort of a archway that is peppered with pictures. All sorts of pictures of people. Could be birthdays, could be locals, you're not sure. You can sort of see that. It's a little hard to miss at this point. There is a man behind the cashier station now. There's no sign that says he'll be back in 5 minutes. It is not Carl. It doesn't look like him at all. It looks like an older gentleman, probably in his 60s. He is smoking at the counter. And it looks like he's listening to the radio. Evening. Hear his voice waft out over the gas station area. How you folks doing?
Wonderful. You don't happen to have an extra one of those, do you?
Oh shit, yeah, sure. He reaches into his pocket and he pushes up a filterless cigarette at you. There you are. He
Well,
tucks
thank
the
you.
pack of Camels back into his breast pocket and then offers you a light.
Yeah, I take it. Camels, filterless Camels would not be my first choice, but here we are.
Beggars can't be choosers.
Nope.
Yeah, Camel non-filters are not the smoothest cigarette. But that slight little heat and peppery tobacco taste that you get at your bottom lip is pretty real. Even pulling light drags on this cigarette is something that would test your lungs.
I start coughing.
He chuckles. I remember my first cigarette. Where are you from?
Just down the road a bit. Do you mind telling us what the date is?
Shit. He sort of looks a little serious for a second. The date. 23rd February.
19.
He looks a little funny at you. 87.
$1987?
Yeah, 87. You get hit on the head or something?
Maybe. Okay. And what's your name?
Jerry. You can't be from around here. He looks you up and down very directly. Yeah, nobody dressed like that around here. But they should.
Oh, I agree, Jerry. I agree.
Bathroom's in the back. If you're looking for chicken, it's over there. And we got a price. We got a sale on Keystone.
Of course you do.
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry, me and my fiance, we're looking for our daughter. Her name is Rose. She scampered away while we were pumping up, you know. So we were just. Have you seen her? She's probably raiding your candy aisle, but she come up. Did you see her walk in here on her lonesome?
No, I ain't seen any kids in here recently.
Hmm.
I mean, it's pretty late. It's 11:30 or so. The kids would be in bed.
Yeah, no, I agree. But we're, coming back from a family road trip.
Sure.
Just, well, thank you for your time. Sorry, continue your conversation. Honey, you want to come see if we can find our little Rosie?
Where's your eyeline at?
Where's my eyeline at?
Mhm.
At you?
Oh,
You-
okay, just making sure. I wasn't sure. Sorry. Yes, dear.
I'm rolling my eyes.
Jerry is having a really difficult time between Celine and Evie. It's probably more than he can process at this point. You see him lean back in the cashier's chair. He turns up the radio just a little bit. You hear REO Speedwagon. If you're looking for your daughter, she can't be. There's only so many places you can go in here.
Yeah, no, I know. We're just also, we don't think she got too far. Uh, she likes to play this game every once in a while. But we'll get back to her. Shame if she doesn't pop out, she won't be getting any more chocolate bars.
What a little scamp of ours. She likes hiding in like supply rooms sometimes and stuff too. Can I take a look?
There's probably one down there by the shower. You could maybe she got into. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I'll be right back, honey.
Yeah, don't be too long, dear.
Hey, but when she says honey, you feel like someone tried to put their mouth around your neck. It's
Yeah.
scary's not the word for it. It feels like just a notch to the right or left would be your dinner.
Yeah. Well, Evie.
You two head down that way.
Pretty horrifying.
You two head down that way. Celine, are you staying here by the cash register? You're going to go check out the fried chicken establishment.
Well, I'm actually going to go to the bathroom where I first met little
Ooh.
Rose. And
Okay.
on my way, I'm going to grab, since it's a truck stop, I'm sure they have to have one of those, unless the storyteller says otherwise, one of those hot dog skewers.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you bet.
Yep, I'm going to grab one of those on my way to the bathroom.
Okay. You snatch one from the rotisserie area. You,
Just in case. I have to protect this.
of course,
Yes.
totally understand. I totally understand. You stalk into the women's or men's bathroom? Women's?
We're going to start with the woman's.
Okay. You step into the women's bathroom and you see a bathroom that has also gone back in time a little bit. Things don't look as bad here just yet. There's no Bobby to speak of. There's, some of the floor is a little less than well done. There are 2 stalls just like there were before, and a mirror, which probably has seen better days. You hear dripping water. On the way to the bathroom, though, and the shower area, you would have passed by this archway. So you'd see it full of Polaroid pictures.
Yeah, is there anything of note on there that I can, if I peruse?
Just passing through it.
I would stop.
You stop? Okay.
Yeah. I'd probably get distracted by photographs.
Sure. Absolutely. So the photographs have sort of the same style to them. There's a lot of early 80s Polaroid pictures here that show families and single kids and mothers and children that are all having fun eating in the nearby chicken restaurant. And they're all sort of diving in and chomping down. And it looks like someone has taken their picture while they're doing this. And you realize as you scan your eyes over these pictures that every single one of the people in these pictures have this same sort of sullen, dead-eye stare at the camera. Like they're smiling and their cheeks are rosy and red, but the light and life in their eyes has long since gone out. And it's a pattern that you see on every single one of them. And what's creepier even is that moms and dads are like at the table with their kids, loving and having a great time here while we stop at this, pit stop along the way near 173. And they too, along with their kids, have that same dead eye stare.
Well, that's creepy. Yeah, I'll make note of that. Do I see Rose or
No.
Carl or anybody in any of these pictures?
You don't see Rose. You don't see Carl. You do see, in one picture on the left-hand side at the bottom, you see Richard, but he's a younger and far more fit man shaking hands with someone. And it says on the top of it, or on the bottom of the Polaroid, it says EST 1979.
Oh, so Dick is probably here.
I'm certain.
Okay. Well, after I check out the bathroom, I'll go talk to Dick.
Okay. You check out the bathroom. So Abel and Evie, you're checking supply closets? Or is that just a simple ruse?
I think I'm going to definitely check out supply closets.
Yeah, definitely checking supply closets and wherever else this little monster scampered off to.
Okay.
Oh, she gets it from you.
So when you check out the supply closet, there's definitely something strange in here. Of course, there are chemicals. Of course, there's a mop. There's a bucket. There's all sorts of everyday things that you would normally find in a supply closet. There's like kitty litter and the stuff they use to like clean up vomit and that sort of thing. But part of the supply closet has, like, there's a rack of where they keep all the bottles and all the chemicals, and there's something behind that, but like you can't see exactly what it is. It's almost as if there's a door behind it.
So, like, am I able to like move the rack or like just start?
Well, it's a pretty big rack. So how would you like to move it?
Pure strength.
Okay. I mean, you laugh, but you're a Bathory, which means you're undead. And so if you chose to utilize some of your abilities, Evie's abilities, naturally, you could do that.
Okay. What does that entail?
Well, if we look at the undead, which is the accursed type that Evie is, hungry is the type, and so they have an ability. All of them have the same ability. But one of the things that they're allowed to do as hungry is essentially spend or bleed curse dice to gain strength. So you have the ability for undead strength. Whenever you choose to, So if a hungry uses what little left of that life vigor they have in pursuit of prey, or potentially to use undead strength, it lasts for the rest of the scene. So if memory serves correctly here, I think you just have to spend a point of momentum, I think. So momentum is one of the things we haven't talked about yet as far as Cureseborne systems. There's a pool of momentum that you can spend from, and there's 1 point of momentum for every player that's in the game. So you'd have the ability to spend 1 momentum, and you could gain a +1 enhancement that stacks with actions made in the physical, mental, or social arena, your choice. Or you can regenerate 1 injury at the beginning of a round.
Okay.
So if you want to spend from that momentum pool, you're able to. It's not something you have to adjudicate with other players. You just sort of have access to it.
And bleeding a dice, that just means that I swap this out for a regular dice again, or sorry to complicate
No,
this.
it's okay. I love it. Its questions are important, and we need to utilize the rules, otherwise we won't learn them. So let's see here. It's templates. Okay, so bleeding cursed dice means it would be done at specific reasons, specific powers. So they would allow you to gain access potentially to special abilities, depending upon what you roll on the cursed dice.
Okay, so I think the smarter thing here to do would be to spend 1 momentum for that enhancement.
Mm-hmm.
And I would enhance physical ability.
You would. So you could enhance any physical ability, but clearly, specifically, it would be physical attributes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a specific one; it's the whole tree.
Okay. Far out.
Mm-hmm.
So now what? I would be probably rolling might and...
I mean, it depends on how you want to approach it, right? You could totally do might and close combat.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is more of a might and athletics test.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Unless you're going to totally karate chop this shelf in half, which don't let me stop you. But you could try that, yeah.
Nah, let's do this. Let's do this kindly.
Yeah.
Okay. It's 1 success.
So remember, it's a +1 enhancement. So an enhancement is a hit automatically.
Okay. So that's 2, 3. And then I got a 10 on the curse dice.
Okay, fantastic. So let's talk about what happens when you get 10s on cursed dice. So this is really good. Cursed dice, when you get 10s, these are considered wicked successes. So when you succeed with cursed dice in your pool, and the cursed dice specifically are successes, it grants her more than what she asked for. So the story guide is free to come up with my own results, which is kind of fantastic. But some suggestions: an enemy or rival takes note of the character's successes and becomes jaded. Ooh, fun. An otherworldly entity arrives to assist or congratulate you. There's just a couple. So the great part is that you don't have any problem picking this entire shelf up. So that's something that you see, which is fairly fantastic, Abel. Evie steps up to this shelf. And this is not some plastic sterilite shelf. This is a metal shelf that has 4 levels to it that probably carries anywhere between 75 to maybe 100 pounds of chemicals and items on it. And she grabs onto it and picks it up. And it comes up off the floor. And you see this wonderful lattice work of red begin to move down her shoulders and arms. You watch her veins light up red as all of this energy courses through her veins. And she picks it up and she steps back to the side. You have to get out of the way. And she lands this shelf to her left, a good 5 or so feet from where it was sitting. And then her body begins to just carry this red aura to it. She begins to sort of exude this aura. And without warning, the aura turns, not Evie, but the aura turns to look at you. And you see a woman's face. And in the woman's hand, an arm that comes up, sort of discorporates out of Evie's body, you see her twirl a knife like in your face and then seep back into Evie's body.
All right, I can kind of see it. All right, fair enough.
Was there anything behind that shelf?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is a door
Okay, perfect.
carved in to this space. It doesn't look like the door that you came through, right? So which is just right there. That door behind you is a standard wood solid core door with a bronze circular handle, nothing special about it at all. This door looks like it was made to fit this space. So it's slightly smaller, right? It's not your normal, 7-8 foot door, whatever it is, 36 inches wide, etc. This door is a little smaller, probably caps out at like 5.5 feet, and is made of different types of wood that has been banded together. And the handle is like a piece of wrought iron that has been bent to make a simple twist handle.
What do you think of this, Abel?
I'm a little. I don't know what to make of that. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm still kind of reeling from whatever the hell that was.
Picking up a shelf?
Sure.
It smells coppery in this room, Abel.
Yeah. Okay. Does that happen often? Did you see that, or is that just something you just kind of are used to? No. Well, we're just.
I mean, just for Evie's players now, she did not see the anima. She did not see the person look at you. None of that.
I mean, I get strength all the time. I don't know. I didn't think that was the first time you saw it, but it's a nice compliment. I'm glad that you're in awe.
I'm a mixture of emotions, and I don't think any of them are good. I got to talk to my therapist about that. But no, to answer your question, I don't know what to make of any of that. But I'm intrigued. Certainly am intrigued.
Do we jump into the unknown together, or would we like to grab Selena?
I think we should probably grab Celine. I don't think. Yeah, let's grab Celine. That's a better idea. I don't know how I feel being alone with you right now. I'm not gonna lie. Let's go get Celine.
It's really hard to not enjoy that, Evie. Fear is another dish. Not your bag per se, but you head back. Back down the hallway, back to the gas station proper. But first, Celine, why don't you tell us what you've been up to after your little stint in the bathroom?
But I didn't make it to the bathroom yet. I was looking at the arch.
Right.
Went into the bathroom and I kick open the first door.
Okay.
And then I kick open the second door. Is there anybody in the bathroom?
There isn't. There isn't anyone in the bathroom, and this bathroom doesn't look like it's been terribly disturbed, although there is a lot of graffiti inside the women's bathroom. There's a lot of like random phone numbers and
Calling Miss Cleo. Oh wait, is she around yet?
not yet.
No, okay. Yeah, I'll head out and go to the men's bathroom.
Okay. You head out, step across the hall to the men's bathroom. There is someone in the men's bathroom when you walk in.
I don't really care. Hey, how's it going?
Hey. You see a guy probably in his mid-30s. He's got a Carhartt t-shirt on, blue jeans, work boots. You in the wrong space?
What is he doing at this moment? Was he midstream? Was he washing his hands?
How descriptive would you like me to get?
I'd just be descriptive.
Okay.
We're an adult show.
We are. This is an adult show. I'll mind the audience. This is an adult show.
I mean, I don't need like
so
pimples and stuff.
He was not yet done at the urinal. He's working very hard to get control of that while you're here.
Yeah, I lean next to the urinal that he's at.
Help you? Sort of. You see him do almost like a little dance.
Do you need help?
And he puts himself together. No, I'm about finished up.
No, what's your name?
Travis?
Travis Smith?
No.
Anderson?
Redding.
Travis Redding. Oh,
Who are
from
you?
around here? I'm Clara.
Hi, Clara. You come into the bathroom a lot and ask guys questions?
I do, as a matter of fact. That's how I get
Okay.
all my dates. We're progressive now, aren't we? 1987?
I mean, not yet. Let's be honest.
Well, no, but I'm telling that
Okay.
to Travis there.
He,
You know, women can vote and stuff now.
He steps over to the wash basin, the sink, and starts washing his hands. He says, yeah, no, hey, if you gotta go, you gotta go. He sort of gestures to the urinal.
Oh, I can't squat over that. That's just be all over the place. But I was hoping you could maybe answer a question for me.
Sure, shoot.
How long you been at this gas station?
You see him stop. And a few seconds tick by. And they roll forward and further forward. And he looks completely dumbfounded. And I think that's the best place for us to leave it tonight. So, thank you so much for joining us for this first stream of Cureseborne. We know it wasn't perfect, but truly, what stream is, it is likely accursed, just like so many things in life. If you've enjoyed the show, you can let us know in the comments whether this is on video on demand or whether that is here live. You can check out the Cureseborne Kickstarter. So we would love for you to do that. Our friends at Onyx Path are really running up the numbers, and we like to get as many cool add-ons to every single crowdfunding campaign they have. They've been very generous with us, and so we would like them to receive that generosity back in kind. I will allow my players to say goodbye personally and then wrap things up. So we'll go back into original introduction order. And so let us know who you are, where we can find you, and when's the last time you ate fried chicken?
Oh, a couple weeks ago, and it was delicious. So I'm going to continue to eat fried chicken. I'm Morgan. I am a cast member on the Old Ways podcast. I play Celine Morwin. Our pronouns are she, her. I am an outcast who's part of the Munificient family. And I have my own cult.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet bet you wish they were around. All right, so next to Celine.
Hi, I'm Pesto Mystic. I've been playing Evie tonight. I've been loving the heck out of this. I'm also a cast member of Old Ways. This has been so freaking cool. Thank you so much for running the game. And thank you to the audience. Thank you to all the lurkers, to the raiders, to the followers and subscribers, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us during this journey.
Fabulous. And last but most certainly not least.
Hello, everyone. I am Gilbert Ramos, aka Ramos the Nomad, on all the social media. I am the CEO and founder of Rolling Nomads. And tonight I have been Abel Roscado. And I would personally, I don't remember the last time I've eaten fried chicken, but honestly, with the descriptions given, aside from it being people at certain points, I kind of want fried chicken. But thank you to Mike, and thanks to all of you for having me here. I look forward to seeing where this goes, and I'm very, very excited to see what comes of this. I also have been Abel Roscado's primal, and if it wasn't obvious, part of the Eight Hands family.
Thank you for that follow, Fire Park Creature. And thanks to my cast members. We will return next Monday for a little bit more, and we'll see how deep this goes. So thanks, and good night.